This is 202 West 5th Avenue Parkside offices. Now remember, the loft has the trimming, and remember the trimming around the paneling, the door frames, and whatnot have possibilities and endeavors. Now they have a variety of the green spackle, and also the green spackle has a manifest in the alleyway entranceway. The alley entranceway, we have a garbage can, fence line, the fence line that was damaged and fixed. And the back entranceway into the aquatic center. The aquatic center has a sidewalk that goes all the way to Larson's Park, which is the 6th for the administration processing. That's DHOG. DHOG is the aquatic center inside International Airport. Mr. Dick Dean, the mayor of Othello, he was a professional wrestler. He was a professional takedown artist. He was a professional con artist, actually. Dick is an individual for his endeavors in the International Airport. He's about 320, 380 pounds. And that's my Uncle Dick D. And that's my Aunt Sophie, right? This loft. And they killed a state patrolman in Pasco. They killed a state patrolman, and that's Soderman. That's Sandra. That's Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney. That's a Vok. And that's Chelsea. They're using my phone right there. That's Chelsea, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney. And he's on medication, and my medication that I have that provides his services is Vietnam vet. That's Mr. McCain as well. And that's my phone right there. My access accounts. And that's Pismo Beach, Oceana Beach, Clifford Resort, Avila, Shell Beach, and USS Los Angeles Liquor War Class AAA, Triple Vista, Bobby Fox, Fabian Barela Alonso, also Carrie and Marie Donald Shimry, Trump, Avok Trump, Amy Mueller, Amy Trigger, Jason Corey Fox on Garfield. You notice the Garfield cartoons that were on elementary, and also the prestigious Harvard, Stanford University and administration offices where they have a certificate of seal, Mr. Sherman. That's a picture of Sherman at Safeco building, Safeco field. Implosion for CenturyLink, that's Felix Barela for blowing up the building, leveling it, and walking off. Just like the San Francisco and that's the general's daughter. She's about 7 foot, 7'1", 6 foot. She's 6 foot 11 and a half inches with no shoes. She's 7'1" with Air Force One combatant, and those are Air Force One Air Force Academy with Mr. Mueller's administration, Pentagon 21 gun salute, which he was lowered over at the Bravo Military, Paris Island, and 29 Palms in California, Washington. Air Force Damar, which is the Top Gun Air Force Academy, and the contingency program for the ROTC's West Pointers. That's the George Washington picture that's on my wall. And that wall is the original picture, the original authentic Declaration of Independence for the ship that sits at the Mueller's funeral from the warship. Saratoga was discommissioned. The Saratoga has commissioned, and it did sink the Puerto Rico. Miss Puerto Rico was sunk, and the reservoir and the backlashes, and also the resistant criminal activities and the suppository in the Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Taliban, and also mystery, and that's Amir. As you can know, that's Amir. He has a turban. He's the president of India, the richest man in the world. And that's Donald Trump, the richest man in the world. And that's Felix Barela with Millennium International Airport. this little project adversary with the spray paint, which was Saturday, Sunday, and then the green trimming on it is a green metallic, either a stucco study at 30-20 base white, the 30-20 base white, like Sherman paints. Sherman's trying to get an override on that, but the photo at the Safeco field is Safeco Insurance. Originally came from Othello, Washington, owners of the whole mall, Studio 7, 24-hour fit, laundromat, and also Nails and Sears were pulled out the appliances. Now it's Chinese nails across the street, and a Chinese restaurant which is called Golden Fountain. Golden Fountain's been on Division Street in Spokane, Washington for a couple centuries, actually. 200 years, actually. The other 200 years on that day was Iowa beef, slaughter floor, Texas, Nebraska, and also Pasco, Washington, where State Patrolman was murdered in Pasco on the Blue Bridge on the east side Pasco area. The individual lived at the Olympia Riverside funeral home called J. Mueller's funeral. He lived in the trailer and he murdered the State Patrolman. He was ran down to the apartment complex in a Cadillac. A coward, a fool, Carlos Platas and Brandy Tremont, which they were, he was a minor. She was about, I'd say she was 9 years old, and she's having sex with Chano Hernandez, and then comes around and try to have sex with Jessica. And that's at 13 West Grand Ronnie. That's Frost, Bodacious, and also Jessica with her saxophone. She came to the tire iron and a bunch of police officers tried arresting her. Marijuana plants inside the living room. Police officer coming here, grabbing her vagina, and then grabbing her breasts, and then they bullied her, having sex with her, and then the mother and father came back in the administration office. There's no mother, actually, just the father. But anyways, there's a tire outside the tree, and there's a tire in the tree, and he has a rope, and he caught me several times with the rope, and caught me on the foot of my, and dragged me all the way into the Budweiser, which is marijuana plants, Miss Budweiser, the mother and father Earl, an X11 6-speed citation, which says Secretary of State Kim Wayman on it, and also says the administration that Earl has an axe, has a wood, and remember, they have maintenance. He worked at the school districts and facilities, whatnot, and he had it. And his brother, he worked on the Budweiser, and that's Chip. So the green trim, that's a 30-20 base coat. I want to make it original. I want to put a gigantic spray system with air compressed airs, not inches. The concrete liners and the concrete lengths on the post. This fence line that goes all the way to the other side of the lease. That's 509-750 so forth. The other trimming on the system on the schematics on the back inches for the internet and systems for the POD, which would be a Vista utility override on the systems, which is the internet systems on the UPI number 602-720-720-602. And an administration process on the fence line sticks. The garbage can caught on fire. The garbage can lid, plastic, got onto the tree, and then onto the tree, the pine cones would have exploded, and it would have been a gigantic disaster. Beach Street and Fifth Street, the whole block would have been on fire. Caught onto the roof, into the shingles, melted the shingles into the fiberglass into the electrical conduit would be Grant POD, and then the garbage man had a 5-foot snowdrift that was parked inside the administration office, and the fence line was destroyed. And Litica Farmer Insurance, and also the Farm Insurance on Broadway. That's Eagle Escrow. But the overriding system, it looks like it's touched up and looks nice. It looks beautiful, don't it? PBR, he owns PBR. He owns all the Jean Company, Wrangler Company, and also the White's Boots Company, which has been century. Before you work for Century, before White's Boots, you got to build Elite Force Arrowheads, PPGs, Triple E's, Double Combat Boots, and also PBR, electrical Avista utility poles that has electrical wiring for kilowatts. When you're electrocuted, it travels to your body and is grounded into the body. Anything that's processed over kilowatts on grunt towers, these are moderated boots monitoring for the elite forces. They've been around for 3 centuries, 300 years to 200 years to 100 years. These systems are downgraded, used from red tip red wing boots, combat boots, Air Force boots, international boots, U.S. Army boots, elite Navy SEAL boots, and also the Mr. ROTCs, Spears and Delta. These are also the Semper and Marine Corps for the electrical wiring conduit, which is passed on. That's Sophie, Guadalajara Restaurant, Pasco, Washington. Dean, Uncle Dean, he's Administrator and Process Information, and he's the mayor. And also the information, Mr. Hogue. Mr. Hogue's been here over, I'd say 300 years. Hogue Administration Process, and he's been overriding. He has a business trend license now. He's working the Aquatic Center. Now the Aquatic Center, you can see on this part of the way, you see the sun, the emblem, the holographs, and the Aquatic Center where it has a walkway entrance into the way to the left and to the right to the barriers. That resembles the Kennewick Man, which is a bone to pick. It's just an old archive Indian artifacts that were used as an artifact, but it's a UFO and alien that found in the chutes, the back of the chutes. The alien's over a century old and somewhat, 150 to 190 year old. And this alien's alive, and it was waiting for whoever it was waiting for, and it didn't die, it's still alive. But the information of Daryl Johnson, he just kills it and puts it and lowers it and puts it in the not the Rest Haven area, but the Parkhurst area, where it says live in peace, and 13 block 4, you can space of 4, 13 block 21 across from Glendale, Roseville, Parkhurst, and also Penhurst. But you know, he's a coward and fool. Administration office, but the white helicopter that picked up the body, the remains of the artifacts that are at the Columbia Park, is used for the extension for the Aquatic Center. Now you have the sun, the emblems, the holographs, the engrams, which is the signs of Egypt and whatnot, and the UFO archive, which is an anti-gravity contagion pole. You can go, as you say, they would hover and spontaneous at speeds, supersonic speeds. Supersonic speeds from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 750 miles an hour. Mach 10, Mach 18, Mach 20. These collegiate programs on the training facilities for the aquatic centers can carry on for the Air Force Academy. The Air Force Academy is carried on to a breach to your endeavors, as Dick Dean would say, your endeavors. And as you can see, the process of the down Ingram systems and also the upgrade systems, Microsoft 365 and Business UBI numbers, PlayStation, servers, Nintendos, Jaguar, Atari, 2600, also the JP Fast Jaguar, and an upgrade Galaxy Galacta, also Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and that's the processing, and that's Mr. Bill Gates. Bill Gates been in touch with Felix Barela ever since he was born in 1972, the foundation of Microsoft. Roberta Barela was fond of Bill Gates, and Bill Gates and Roberta Barela fucked. Just like Lamb West and Cranes, they fucked. So Jessica comes in my yard, and she wants to be protected, and knowing the fact she's been used, abused, and take matters in her hand and take a situation and figure out she debated all the entire the marijuana, the alcohol, and abused and rampaged. And when they're influenced by alcohol, you know, you have ways with your children the way you talk and how the way you hover. And now they got an OC1 people bus. Used to be night service at Kennewick, Washington. Now the Kennewick man, now they drive around and say they're righteous. Think they killed Felix Barela at the Finley Hover Park. And they're cowards and they run around. They have big fucking mouths. OLYMPIA. Look at that. Ain't that beautiful? Cowards, huh?